All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave back again, talking about real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you right there, just like me right here. All right, before I get going on this, the Frost duo, absolutely spectacular, amazing, incredible. That I can tell you. Some of the greatest vocals you'll ever hear, production value through the roof, and that I can tell you, and everybody is saying it. Okay, about the Frost duo, everybody is saying it. Um, Leah Beth Evans and Christian Gratz, there they are, handsome-looking couple, and they are fantastic. A lot of great music too. Other than this, I would recommend getting this first. It's called Play Nice. You can go to their website and purchase a copy or possibly download a copy. It's thefrostduo.com. The Frost Duo, they actually have a version of that Britney Spears song, Baby One More Time, and they class the song up. They just do it in such a way where you're like, okay, this isn't trashy anymore. This is like a listenable, melodic, wonderful song. And again, this is the music I bring to the desert island with me, the skipper, and Gilligan, and the professor, because the professor, he's going to make a really high quality stereo system out of bamboo and coconuts, because that's what the professor used to do. Just fantastic music. So check out the Frost Duo. Physical copies, ladies and gentlemen. Use them as souvenirs. You know what I mean? If you're streaming the music, buy a CD, support the artist, use it as a souvenir. A lot of people have books, like I have books in my library. I mean, I read them, right? But then they stay there as like artifacts, you know? So just help the artist, because streaming revenue, not so great, not so great. So what else is not so great, right? Well, the stadium tour, which just concluded, which I've been talking a lot about, and people, you know, they're a little sick and tired of the whole Motley Crue putting up naked body parts on the big screen, and people showing off their junk, because Tommy Lee, that's really all he's got going for himself. You know, he's probably just sitting behind that drum kit. Early on, you know, he broke his ribs and went out there and told everybody that, hey, I just broke my ribs, I'm not really going to be able to do this. And they went out there and played for a little while, and then, you know, the drum tech or whatever came in and picked up the slack. Although, again, if they're playing a drum track, Tommy Lee could probably hang out there for the whole show. I don't know. And maybe he was playing live drums more later on, but there were almost zero decent reviews of Motley Crue on this, right? So you've got three pretty strong bands. I believe there was another band that was opening up even prior to that, who were like a new kind of thing. And so you had a total of 5 bands, I believe. And really your headliner or your co-headliner is a real problem. Plus, people don't want to go and see all of this nonsense. What they would rather do is go and hear some great music. So I'm proposing a stadium tour for mature adults, right? You don't have to be old to be a mature adult, but adults who want to go to see rock concerts. And by the way, my proposal, right, would allow for children to go and enjoy the concert with their parents. Why? Because it wouldn't be offensive, right? Tommy Lee says, hey, you know, Motley Crue, we've never been PG-13. It's kind of weird, because there were a lot of teenagers back in the 80s who were going to see Motley Crue. Probably people who were minors, right, who were going to see Motley Crue. So what's changed? Well, the overall level of depravity has changed, and thus now, you know, you're not supposed to be bringing your kids to this, even though there are a lot of people in our culture who want to expose young children to this kind of stuff. And I think that's disgusting. Okay. So anyway, here's my proposal, right? So your first band, your first artist is Rick Springfield, right? Rick Springfield looks amazing, sounds amazing, has got a great catalog. It's not a deep, expansive catalog, but it's good enough to start to get the ball rolling. He's your first artist. And by the way, as much as I like to say, you know, you should probably find a band that's new and upcoming to put alongside one of these artists, I'm going to say based on, you know, the success of doing that, you probably can't do it for this tour. You've got to have 4 powerhouse artists, and you might be able to do 5, but I'm saying 4 just for the sake of time. Let the old folks go home at an appropriate time, right? I mean, it's going to be a long concert no matter what, but I'm thinking, you know what? It's like rapid fire, keep the music going, don't waste a lot of time, have it planned out. So, you know, you go from one stage to the new stage or whatever, and it's pretty seamless. And you get all of this music in a decent amount of time. I don't know too many people that want to hang out for like 4 or 5 hours, right? It's just a long time to be at a show. So I'm kind of catering to the demographic here. So next on my list here is Sammy Hagar and The Circle, they've got new stuff coming out. You've got the Van Halen repertoire in there. You've even got the Roth era possibly represented with Michael Anthony doing the singing. And I really like that. That's been fantastic. Jason Bonham on drums, who is absolutely amazing. Vic Johnson on guitar, who's just an absolute terrorist guitarist. I mean, in a good way. He is like the secret weapon of that band. And Sammy still sounds great. I know he's in his mid-70s. Sounds great, and he can still do it. So that's my number 2 band. Number 3 on the list would be Foreigner. Why Foreigner? Well, they're really expensive to go see on their own. So you might as well put them in a group of bands. And look, I get it. Lou Gramm, I know you're not replacing Lou. Okay. I've said this. What you do is you find somebody who is a plausible replacement, who helps you cope with the fact that Lou Gramm isn't there. And that for, I think, 17 years has been Kelly Hansen. And he's doing a great job with that band. And, you know, there were a couple of interviews that were out there, and I wasn't a part of those interviews, but I observed what was being said, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you're going to complain about this stuff, you're about 15 years too late, 16, 15 years too late. Go back to 2005, listen to that live album that they put out immediately after Kelly Hansen joined the band. They've done acoustic albums that sound great. They've done full orchestra albums that are terrific. They did record one album with Kelly that was but nobody really cares about that. They want to hear Hot Blooded, Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You. And Kelly Hansen can deliver. Not only that, that's a deep catalog. Foreigner probably has one of the most impressive catalogs, and they don't really even dig into their albums too far. In other words, they could probably pull out a few more songs that people might recognize, or just kind of go off the grid a little bit and play a deeper track. They don't even have to do that because they have so much great music that people will recognize. So Foreigner would be my number 2. In fact, you could argue that Foreigner could be like a co-headliner, but I'm going to say at number 1, the band that is your headlining band is obviously Journey, right? And it's not because I'm a big Journey fan necessarily, although that's part of this. Journey has an insane catalog. They've got Neil Schon. They've got Arnell, who still sounds great, although, you know, I'm getting some conflicting reports now about Arnell, and I haven't listened to him lately, but I went to see Journey a few months ago with Toto, and it was phenomenal. And everybody who I spoke with afterwards said, yeah, Arnell, he sounds great, and this band seems to have new life. They've got Todd Jensen playing bass. It's kind of like Journey line. It's a little bit Journey, a little bit Hardline. Dean on drums, Neil Schon on guitar, and Todd Jensen on bass. It's a good band. It's a really good band, and they put on a great show. And Neil Schon will not disappoint. He will go out there and shred. He'll go off on tangents. And the band at times will perform the songs like they were recorded. Jonathan Cain still bringing it out there on keyboards and rhythm guitar at times. And people will hang out because they definitely want to hear Don't Stop Believin'. I'm putting my promoter hat on, right? So if I'm a promoter, yeah, that's the catalog, all of those great songs. And then, of course, Don't Stop Believin', which is kind of in its own category. And that's the stadium tour for mature adults. Pretty simple. Again, to recap, Rick Springfield opening, Sammy Hagar in the Circle, Foreigner, and then Journey. Is the concert trashy enough or raunchy enough for certain people? Apparently not. I don't really care, though. I'd like to bring my teenage son to go see a show. I would like to even bring maybe a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old without the fear of just this perverted nonsense which is going on with Motley Crue. And again, you could just get rid of Motley Crue, right? If you're going to do this original stadium tour, and just replace them with a band that has a better catalog. And there are a number of bands out there. Now, honorable mentions for my version of the stadium tour would be bands like Styx, although I would rather see Styx with Dennis DeYoung. If they don't reunite with Dennis, I wouldn't put it on the stadium tour. REO Speedwagon puts on a good show with Kevin Cronin. Kevin's lost a little. I mean, his pacing is a little bit weird at times during these songs, but they still do a good job. And I think people would, to have Foreigner, Journey, and REO Speedwagon together, I don't think people are really going to complain about that. But I think Sammy Hagar and Rick Springfield are both really good choices because they sound great and they look great for their age. And that's why I'm putting them on that. And they would be a progression to when you get to Journey, and Journey is your headliner, and Journey isn't going to disappoint as a headliner. So that's my theory on my proposal for a better version of the stadium tour for mature adults, not old folks necessarily, people who are mature and actually want to go to a rock concert to hear music, right? And not be into all the craziness. So one more time on the Frost Duo, not only is this band really, really good, this duo, but they're also friends of mine. And I love to promote music where the people are like-minded, which, again, another consideration here, that these people aren't lunatics, they're normal. So you know what I'm talking about. So definitely support the Frost Duo. Got a lot of great feedback the last time I plugged their music, and you won't be disappointed. Just give it a listen. If it's too mellow for you, too light for you, understood. But you see, I enjoy this kind of music a lot. I could, go on a rock and roll fast where I'm only listening to this kind of music, and I think I would be happy. I think my nerves would be a lot calmer. As much as I like to rock out, sometimes you just need to chill. And this is the perfect music to chill, the Frost Duo. All right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I always say, hit that bell for notifications on new videos, and Patreon. Got a new patron yesterday. I'm always grateful for the patrons. I always screw that up. Patreons. No, they're patrons who support this channel every single month. I've had people from the very beginning. We do have conversations from time to time, and I try to answer all the messages as quickly as I can. So again, Patreon, you can do it for $1 a month if you choose to do that. All right. See you soon.